Dr. Josh Hand here. This is Lifestyle Locker Radio. This is the Race to 100, episode 7. We're calling this one Do What You Can't. And I like to start these episodes off with a quote. So what I'm going to read to you is from one of the people that's actually inspired me in sports growing up. His name is Michael Jordan. So here's a quote from him. I love this one. It's on failure, right? I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again. That is why I succeed. And that is so important because when we think about running, when we sign up for a race and we're training, as I am right now in this race to 100, I'm starting to recognize and realize that things are not always so easy. And sometimes you may set out to do something you want, and you may not be able to do it. Sometimes you may push yourselves really hard and go beyond where you think you can even go. So there are big challenges. There are days where we can learn from our thoughts. We can learn from what's going on in our lives. We can learn from others around us who have experienced things like we are and we have. So we can actually learn from people's mistakes, their failures, and their successes. So maybe your failures can be a little different, right? Winning and running is a pretty powerful thing. And I mean winning. I don't mean winning a race. I mean winning because you actually are going out and giving and going out and doing and going out and loving what you love just because you want to be a better person. You want to be a better version of yourself. So I'm going to share the screen for those of you that are listening through iTunes. At this point, these will be in the show notes. I'll share some of these details, but you're going to hear them, so you don't necessarily need to see them. I'm just using them as a reference because I want to review my training week, and I want to share with you some of my thoughts and feelings on the week and how I felt during these trainings. So first, here we go. Let me just swap screens here for a second. So when we look at my week in training, there was a lot of gym training this week just because timing and the way things ended up working out for myself. There's a lot going on. I'll explain that later on in this episode. So I did a lot of gym training this week, and I'm starting to really love the interval style training where I'm doing a lot of running, then train hard, and then run again, because it changes my body's movement and motion. Because with running, especially with distance running, you're doing the same movements over and over and over. And what we're finding out is that if you don't break some of this patterning, you're not going to be strong in other areas, which will actually propel you and make you better and faster during running, right? So that being said, I'll go over August 20th, 2019. So what I did this day, I had a late start in this day. It was just probably a poor night's sleep, my dog, whatever it was that ruined my sleeping. It wasn't fun. So what we did, I did 10 rounds of sprints at 1 minute per sprint on and 1 minute off. So I didn't necessarily wait for my heart rate to drop. I went up and down with the sprints very frequently. And then, so you can see that, I went at an 8.0 speed at an incline of 6 for the whole time. And then I did a couple rounds at 8.5 speed. That's just my pace, and I'm able to do that. Then I also did 4 rounds after, right? So I sprinted, sprint, 10 rounds of sprinting, then 4 rounds. I did hex bar deadlifts, which are these really cool hexagon-shaped deadlift bars if you haven't seen them. These were mild deadlifts. These are pretty light deadlifts, but I did 5 deadlifts, then a 30-yard farmer's carry. Then I turned around. I did 10 curl to press with the dumbbells. I did 10 per arm for set, and I did 30, 35, and 40, and 45. So I did a total of 4 rounds of these hex bar deadlifts, then farmer carry, then curls. I just kept on going back and forth in the gym. We have a really cool turf, which allows me to do some of these movements as long as there's not a class going on. So I got to be there at the right time to do this. Otherwise, there's a lot of people utilizing the turf. And so that was day 1. Day 2 at the gym, so that was a Tuesday. Day 2 at the gym was a Thursday a Thursday evening. I did what we call an RTR this day, right? Run, train, run. So I did a 2 mile run, and I did it about an 8:30 pace, right? Which for me is really, really fast. Then I did 5 rounds of 10 pull-ups per round, 20 push-up shoulder taps. So as you go through the push-up, picture this. You're going all the way down to the floor, chest touches the floor, push up, lift one arm up, tap a shoulder, down, and then that counts as one, and then up and tap the other shoulder, and that's one as well. So I did those 20 push-ups, and we did 10 lunges, and I did 10 lunges with five per leg with a 65-pound barbell, traditional barbell over my shoulders, and I did 10 lunges per set, right? So 5 per leg. And then the post run was a 3.23 mile. I wanted to get a 5K in, and I did this at an 8:20 mile, which was really fast for me. I'm not usually the speed demon when it comes to running, and some of you are just saying that's really slow. Yeah, I know. I'm not that guy, but that's all right. I'm okay with my pace and where I am and who I am. But I'm consistent. This is where I get to win. And then I did Friday. This was a killer workout. This was a lot of fun. I haven't done one like this yet, and I figured I'd give it a shot and see how I felt and responded. So I did what we call an RTRTR. Run, train, run, train, run. So I broke it up, and it wasn't just a sprint or something in the middle. These were some distances. So my first run in this during the RTRTR, sounds funny saying that, it was a 3-mile run. I did 25 minutes, 30 seconds. Then I did 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups. Then back to the treadmill. I did a 5-mile run in 45 minutes and 16 seconds. Then back to the floor. I did 3 rounds of bicep curl to press, which is that same movement, right? Curling and then pushing overhead for 10 per arm for 3 rounds. And then I went back up again and did another 2-mile run at a 16:29. So I was just under, I was like an 8:15, 8:14 and change pace. And that was a total of 10 miles. So it was a great day to actually get a little bit of distance in it in the gym and mix it up and get off the treadmill so my legs have to stop moving for a little bit, which throws your body off. And, I do some balance work and all of the single-armed workouts that I'm doing. It's counterbalancing weights from left to right, so my body and my brain are working harder. And then today, actually no, yesterday. What did we do yesterday? Yesterday I actually wanted to do a nice slow run. I did a short 2-miler yesterday, and I did that because I was planning on doing a big run today. And for those of you who listened to my live earlier, I did not do a big run today. Well, relatively not a big run. And the run today was I think 11.78 miles. I was really shooting to do almost a full marathon, believe it or not. We got a lot of stuff going on. We had an event last night at our marina. We had a great time. There was a little barbecue with everybody for the end of the summer. Seafood, all really good stuff. I did pretty good. I did have a couple drinks, but I cut it off there. Stopped eating. Didn't have any dessert, any snacks, anything like that. But I found out a kid that I went to elementary school with ended up became a bum in New York City, which I didn't know. This is a kid I was very close with in 4th, 5th, 6th grade. Ended up becoming a homeless person in New York City, and ended up just committing suicide back in February. And I just found this out, and it just kept me up last night. I could not sleep. I was going, holy cow. What was going on in this kid's life that was so bad that you'd want to do something like that, or what was happening? So my brain was just going, and I felt horrible because there really is, in my opinion, there is no reason to take your own life. There's always a way. There should always be a reason or a passion to live, and so that kept me up at night. Tried getting up at 5 a.m. this morning. Didn't work. I got up at 6 and got out of the house at about 7:15, and we have construction happening in our house tomorrow, which is on a Monday, and we're doing all this work going on, and we have to prep everything here. So all of my brain was really, I won't say against me, but my mind was busy. And usually when I run, I can cut that off, be very present, be in present time consciousness, which I've mentioned in other episodes. Being present, and I wasn't very present on the run. I wasn't, I couldn't stay focused. I couldn't keep going that direction I needed to go in. And mile 3, I'm like, oh, I just want to quit. Mile 4, I just kept on doing it. And I really just literally, I hate to say this word, but I ended up sucking it up. I ended up only doing 11.78 miles. And some people go, well, you did 11.78 miles. Yes, I did. Thank God I was able to get that far. But when I needed to go farther today, or I should have gone farther, I don't want to be hard on myself, but I had to go beyond. So what I'm learning and what I'm taking from myself this week in my training is that, you know what, I can look at, I have 5 days, and I'm thinking to myself, that was a failed run. And to me, initially, I'm like, oh, that was such a bad run. How can I not go beyond where I went last weekend? And I have to just be okay with myself saying, you know what, like Michael Jordan, I can miss a couple, but that's what's going to make me better in the long run, as long as I am consistently doing, right? There's a big difference, and I mentioned this in my Facebook Live this past week, that all the books I read, whether they're business or marketing or philosophy or personal growth or chiropractic, wherever it is and whatever it is, they all talk about success in one way or another, whether it's that direct word or not. And what I find and what I've found is that people that are successful do something that most don't. And it's not one thing, right? They are consistent in what they are doing. Their messaging is consistent. Their actions are consistent. Their training is consistent. They are just consistent. And that's great. I don't mean you need to be robotic with your life, but when you're pushing hard and wanting to grow and in all these different areas, it doesn't happen from an event. Right? It doesn't happen from an event. It happens based on repetition. All great change in life is because you took action, you did something, maybe change your mind to the right way of thinking, started taking action and consistently took action. If you're just sitting on your butt in the sidelines and waiting for life to happen to you, it's not. You need to make life happen for you so you can actually move forward, get better in all areas. So I'm taking that this week. I feel a little sore today, not terribly. And I mentioned this last week, and I think this is important. What you're going to start to find with your consistency, because I hope too in your training, if you're listening to this and you're a runner, I hope too in your training that you're finding ways to make yourself soar, right? You're finding ways to make yourself push a little hard, go a little bit against that grain, create some friction, whatever it may be, whether it's you're sprinting or adding more mileage or you're adding weight training into your running, that you're becoming sore on a regular basis. What I'm finding is that if I'm not sore, I realize I could have probably done one of two things: pushed a little harder or ran a little longer. And that sounds weird. Hey, I know what some of you might be thinking when I just said harder and longer. Just saying. But nonetheless, so I think that if we can keep consistent and we can keep pushing where we need to push, that we will get better in all these areas in our lives. And for those of you that are interested and have not yet messaged us on Lifestyle Locker or me personally through social media, I have an endurance training program which I give away for free now. We're charging $100 for it. It's great. It's got programming for 45 days. It's got meditation. It has lots of really good stuff in it, things that you're going to have access to and actually use to build a better human being, right? And one of the hacks that I've been using, which most people ask how I recover very fast, one of the hacks that I use is a chiropractic adjustment. And that is one of my favorite things to use, because not because it's just about the spine. I know I've mentioned this, but why this is so important. Yes, nutrition is important. Yes, sleep is important. Yes, the obviouses are important, but not so obvious to most is very obvious to me because I've grown up with it. But if your spine is in the healthiest alignment, if you have a maximum or highly functioning nervous system that's putting out at 100%, your overall body is going to function really high. You're going to recover faster, especially if you're fueling, right? Chiropractic with a good lifestyle is huge, huge, huge win. So I'm getting adjusted pretty frequently as the training ramps up, and I'll keep you posted on other things. So if If you like what you're hearing and you're enjoying it, just, go ahead, hit the like button. Also, you can go ahead and, give us a 5-star review on iTunes. I know I ask this all the time. I love them. Our people love it. And what it does for everyone else, more than even me, it gets our show in front of more people. And if we're out to help thousands, if not millions of people become healthier, happier, do better things in their lives, unleash their human potential, we need to get this show to more people. So I do appreciate you, and I thank you. So whenever you're listening to this, have a great day, evening, or night. All right, I'm Dr. Josh Ham for Lifestyle Locker. Peace out.